This video is for the inverses practice number 1. I'm going to do just a few problems on this practice. If you need help on any other questions, check out the key that's posted on Canvas or ask your teacher for help. So we'll start with number 2 here. It says algebraically find the inverse of each of the following functions. Right? It even gives you the hint. When you find an inverse, you switch the letters x and y and then solve for y. So number 2 says g of x equals negative 2x plus 6. Remember that g of x is the same thing as y equals negative 2x plus 6. So the first step in finding an inverse is to switch those letters and write this as x equals negative 2y plus 6. Now what you need to do is get y by itself. So I'm going to start by subtracting 6 from both sides of the equation. That gives me x minus 6 on the left equals negative 2y. To get y by itself, you have to divide every single term by negative 2. And when you do that, this x over negative 2 can stay the same. Negative 6 divided by a negative is a positive 3 equals y. That is the equation of the inverse function. The next problem we'll look at is number 6. Same as the first one, it says g of x equals. That's the same thing as y equals. Let's start by switching these letters, the location of them. So we'll have x equals negative 2y plus 20 over 4. Now here, the first thing you have to do is clear the denominator by multiplying both sides by 4. You'll have now 4x equals negative 2y plus 20. Now to get y by itself, I need to subtract the 20 from both sides, which on the left-hand side gives you 4x minus 20 equals negative 2y. Your last step is to divide every single term by negative 2. Because that'll give you y equals, well, 4x divided by negative 2 is negative 2x. And negative 20 divided by negative 2, remember a negative divided by negative, is a positive 10. And that is the equation of your inverse. You're all set. 2 more here. Number 8, we have y equals 5/3 x minus 15. Start by switching these letters. To have x equals 5/3 y minus 15. We're going to add 15 to both sides, which gives you x plus 15 equals 5/3 y. Now here, in order to get rid of the fraction, I want to clear the denominator first. I want to multiply every term by 3 so that that denominator will go away. So 3 times x, which is 3x. 3 times 15 is 45. Equals 5y. Then all you have to do is divide every term by 5, and you're done. The fraction can stay the same. 3 over 5x. 45 divided by 5 is 9, and that equals y. That is your inverse, 3/5 x plus 9. All right, last one here we're going to do is on the back. And this one says confirm that the following functions are inverses. In order to do that, it says do 2 compositions here. We're going to do f of g of x and g of x. Or here, we have the letters h and g. So we're going to do h of g of x. And then we'll also do g of h. So you have to do both compositions. Now remember, our goal when we do both of these compositions is to get x as the answer. If we get x as the answer, that means that these functions are inverses of each other. If we don't get x as the answer, then they're not inverses. So when I start here with h of g, I'm going to put the function of g here into the function of h. Right, so I'm going to start with the function of h, negative 1/3. There's my x plus 3. And into the function here, I'm going to write g. To simplify, you're going to start by distributing the negative 1/3. Now, negative 1/3 times negative 3 is a positive 1x Negative 1/3 times positive 3 is negative 1 plus our 3. Now when I combine these like terms here, I get x plus 2. That's my answer. All right, not exactly what we're looking for, but let's see what happens when I take g of h of x. This time, you start by taking the function of h and putting it into g. So it's the other way around this time. So let's write g first. Negative 3, there's our x, plus 3. And our input here should be negative 1/3 x plus 3. So we distribute to start. A negative times a negative is a positive, and 3 times 1/3 is 1x. Negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9 plus 3. Well, when I combine these like terms, I get x minus 6, which again is not what we were looking for, because both of these compositions do not give us x. There should be a line down there. I didn't have it on my screen here, but these are not inverses. All right, you're going to circle no there. The only way they're inverses is if I got x for both answers, and I didn't get x, so that they're not inverses. Right? If you need help with any other problems, let us know. I don't think there's any other ones on here. No. And we will help you with any questions you have.